2 o'clock.
Yep, I'm ready.
We ready to roll? All right. Sergeant at Arms, please secure the doors. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd ask you to please rise. With the colors of our nation being in place, join me in offering a right-hand salute. 1, 2. I now call upon National Chaplain David Jolly, who will invoke the blessing of God.
Please don't uncover yet. Please recover for a moment. So, Sons of the American Legion chaplains serve all faith traditions and serve those who have no faith tradition. So I'm going to share a little, and I'd like you to translate it into your own faith understanding. Can we do that? So, a United Methodist pastor and a New York City cabbie arrive at the pearly gates at exactly the same moment, and St. Peter says to them, your eternal homes are going to be determined by your effectiveness for God while you were on earth. So they drive the cabbie to a mansion, enormous, beautiful. And when they're done doing that, they drive the Methodist pastor to a nice little shanty. And the pastor says, I don't understand, St. Peter. And St. Peter says, it's about your effectiveness. When you preached, your parishioners slept. When he drove, they prayed. In this room right now, be assured there are mansions being prepared for your eternity. And you know why. Now may we uncover. God, we are ever so thankful for that. For 107 years, you have blessed the American Legion to be a blessing to the military, to children and youth, to those in need, and especially to our nation. Today at the spring meetings 2026, we ask and give thanks to you in advance for your blessings once more. Blessings for the leadership of our National Commander Clancy, and for American Legion National Commander Wiley, for Auxiliary President Ray, and Chairman of the Riders Heredia, and for the American Legion, Sons of the American Legion liaison, Kevin Mook. We thank you, God, for your blessings on each one of the NEC members, for all the commissions and the committees, both the chairpeople and the members. Now, God, we ask a blessing upon the unity of the American Legion family, that we might be those taking the high ground for the good of the mission and for the best outcomes of the work. And speaking of work, you, God, you are the God who multiplies. Multiply our efforts so the absolute best may occur for the greatest number of persons and groups. We ask all of this in the name of God, who is holy to each person. Amen.
Amen.
Please recover.
Please stay
Sorry.
uncovered. Thank you, Chaplain. In the memory of our departed comrades and comrades of all veterans, let us stand for a moment in silence. To maintain a high awareness that a constant vigil should be maintained so that no POW or MIA will be left unaccounted for, the Sons of the American Legion display a POW MIA flag at all meetings. This is a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW MIAs still unaccounted for, as a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoner from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. POW MIA flag is in place at this time. I now call upon National Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Greg Falco, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please cover. I now call upon National Vice Commander Chris Casey to lead us in reciting the preamble of the Constitution of the Sons of the American Legion. Of priceless heritage, we male descendants of veterans of all perils associate ourselves together as sons of the American Legion for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to perpetuate the true spirit of Americanism, to preserve the memories and spirit of remorse and denunciation of all wars and all war honors and all wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to concentrate and sanctify our friendship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness, to adopt in letter and spirit all the great principles for which the American Legion stands, and to assist in carrying on for God and country. Serving as a constant reminder that servicemen and women on a daily basis are putting themselves at risk to ensure our freedom, the Sons of the American Legion display a corporate Blue Star service banner at all meetings to serve as a symbol of our support of all military personnel serving this great country. Let us never forget that every day these individuals are protecting our liberty. The Blue Star service banner is in place. As you see. National Adjutant Anthony Wright will now lead us in the call to the Spring 2026 meeting of the National Executive Committee.
Pursuant to Article 7, Section 1 of the National Constitution of the Sons of the American Legion, the National Commander of the Sons of the American Legion hereby calls for a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion to be held May 2nd through 3rd, 2026 at the American Legion National Headquarters in Indianapolis, Indiana.
At this time, I'd like to ask all veterans in the room to please stand and be recognized. We thank you. We thank you all for your service. As a point of housekeeping, I'd remind that everybody should use the 2 microphones right in the center of the room. They both have green lights on if you can't see them. As well, if you're giving a report, as I said earlier, we have a podium right here. This is where reports will be given. You don't have to come up the stairs. It's nice and easy. We're going to ask the chair to be recognized when you come up telling us who you are on the floor, then identify yourself by your name, your title, and the detachment from which you're speaking before proceeding directly. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on National Adjutant Anthony Wright to read the minutes from our last meeting. Oh, roll call? I apologize.
That's okay.
I'll call on Anthony Wright to do roll call.
National Commander Bill Clancy III.
Here.
National Vice Commander Jeremy Revel. Present. Brian Hine. Present. Steve Honeyfort. Here. Chris Casey. Present. Frank Mraz Jr. Present. National Adjutant Anthony Wright is President. National Assistant Adjutant Emeritus Harold Thompson Jr. Present. National Assistant Adjutant Emeritus Ed Shoebrooks. National Assistant Adjutant Robert Avery. Here. National Assistant Adjutant Scott Thornton.
Here.
National Assistant Adjutant Seth Rippey is present. National Chaplain David Jolly. Present. National Parliamentarian Gary Leach. Here. National Historian Tim Van Patten second. National Sergeant at Arms Greg Falco. National Assistant Sergeant at Arms Brian Walters. Tom Arista. Cliff Barker. National Commander's Aide Tim Brower is excused. Roll call of past national commanders. Immediate past national commander Joseph Navarrete. Robert McBride. J.R. Stillwell. He's excused. John Smolinski. Robert Faust. Gregory Reese. Grant Jameson. Charles Gannon. John Sherrard. David Stevens. Christopher Cirillo. Fred Hartline is excused. Douglas Bible. Richard League. David Faust. Robert Worrell. Eugene Sacco. Joseph Maine. Jack Jordan. William Mataska. Byron Robichaux. Richard Cook. Kevin Winkleman. Clifford Smith. Neil Warnken. Michael Deacon. William Sparwasser. Earl Ratoski. Raymond Gill Jr. Thomas Cisna is excused. Mark Arneson. David Dew. James Roberts III is excused. Joseph Gladden. Michael Moss. Excused. Kevin Collier. Brian O'Hearn. Jeff Frayne is excused. Danny Smith. Greg Gibbs. Clint Bolt. Joseph Paviglianti. Michael Fox. Christopher Carlton. Donald Hall, Jr. Roll call of detachments. Alabama. Alaska. NEC, alternate NEC? Thank you. Arizona. Arkansas. California. Colorado. Connecticut. Delaware. District of Columbia. Florida. France. Georgia. Hawaii. Idaho. Illinois. Indiana. Iowa. Kansas. Kentucky. Latin America. Louisiana. Maine. Maryland. Massachusetts. Michigan. Minnesota. Mississippi. Missouri. Montana. Nebraska. Nevada. New Hampshire. New Jersey. New Mexico. New York. North Carolina. North Dakota. Ohio. Oklahoma. Oregon. Pennsylvania. Philippines. Puerto Rico. Rhode Island. South Carolina. Say yes.
Yes.
South Dakota. South Dakota was NEC, correct? Yes. Thank you. Tennessee. Texas. Utah. Vermont. Virginia. Washington. West Virginia. Wisconsin. Wyoming. Commander, that completes roll call. You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. I now declare this spring 2026 meeting of the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion regularly convened. Do we have any first-timers here today? Any first-time attendees at the NEC meeting? If so, would you please rise? Welcome. Big round of applause. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the weekend. At this time, I would like to have National Adjutant Anthony Wright read the minutes from our last meeting.
Saturday, October 4th, 2025, at 1 p.m., Saturday, October 24th, 2025.
Mr. Commander?
Yes.
John Lawrence, NEC. Make a motion, we dismiss with the reading of minutes and submit it as emailed.
John Lawrence from the Detachment of Louisiana makes a motion to accept the previous meeting minutes as published. Is there a second?
Jeff Lee, NEC, Virginia, seconds that motion.
Jeff Lee, NEC, Virginia, seconds that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the previous minutes as published, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say nay. Hearing no nays, the motion carries. Thank you.
Commander.
Mr.
Ned
Fox.
NEC, Detachment of California. I move to go into a committee of the whole to take under consideration finance.
Okay. Defer committee of the whole, all right? Was there any reason not to wait until the finance meeting? Report, rather?
John Lawrence, NEC from Louisiana, second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. But the parliamentarian is asking the question, is there any reason to wait until the finance report?
It's not open for discussion.
Okay. So, vote, okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All, any opposed? Nay. It's pretty close. What? We're going to do a roll call? Okay. I'm not sure what that is. Can I hand it over to you? I mean, I'm not familiar. Okay. Okay. We're going to have a roll call vote on the motion. Fair? That's fair enough for me. Cool. Okay. Line up, please. We're going to submit the roll call.
You guys ready? National Vice Commander Jeremy Revel. Aye. National Vice Commander Jeremy Revel, aye. Brian Hine. Aye. Brian Hine, aye. Steve Honeyfort. Aye. Aye. Chris Casey. Aye. Aye. Frank Mraz Jr. Aye. Detachments, Alabama. Not here. Alaska. Aye. Aye. Arizona. Aye. Aye. Arkansas. Aye. Aye. California. Well, California made the motion. But they need to vote. California. Aye. Connecticut. I'm sorry. Connecticut was aye? All right. Back up to Colorado. Aye. Colorado, aye. Delaware. Aye. Aye. District of Columbia. Aye. Aye. Florida. Florida. Aye. Aye. France is not here. Georgia. Aye. Aye. Hawaii. Aye. Aye. Idaho. Aye. Aye. Illinois. Aye. Aye. Indiana. No. Indiana, no. Iowa. No. Iowa, no. Kansas. Aye. Kansas was aye, is that correct? Aye. Kentucky. Aye. Kentucky, aye. Latin America. Aye. Aye. Louisiana. Aye. Aye. Maine. Nay. Nay. Maryland. Nay. Nay. Massachusetts. Nay. Nay. Michigan. Aye. Aye. Minnesota. Aye. Aye. Mississippi. Aye. Aye. Missouri. Aye. Aye. Montana. Aye. Aye. Nebraska. Aye. Aye. Nevada. Aye. New Hampshire. Nay. New Jersey. Nay. New Mexico. Nay. New York. Nay. North Carolina. Aye. North Dakota. Ohio. Aye. Oklahoma. Nay. Oregon. Aye. Pennsylvania. Nay. Philippines is not present. Puerto Rico. Nay. Rhode Island is not present, correct? South Carolina. Voice, they have a voice, no vote. South Dakota. South Dakota, nay. Tennessee. Is, but he's the national vice at NEC?
No, but you can't vote twice.
Okay, he's the alternate. Okay, thank you. Texas. Nay. Utah is not present. Vermont. Nay. Virginia. Aye. Washington. Aye. West Virginia. West Virginia's nay. Wisconsin. Nay. Wyoming. Nay. That's it, right? 34 to 18. 34 yay. 18 nay. So, motion carries.
The motion carries. So, I guess we move right to the finance report?
Now, if I may, Commander,
Yes.
you need to appoint.
Pipe down, please.
Mr. Commander, Ron Roberts, NEC, Mississippi. I suggest that either the judge advocate or yourself read Rule 6, Committee of the Whole, and explain what it's about. It's in the Legion NEC rules or in the Sun's NEC rules,
Okay.
Rule number 6. It'll give everybody an
I
idea
don't
what
have
we're
that
talking
handy.
about, or I can read it from right here.
Could you please read it? Thank you.
Rule number 6, Committee of the Whole. When the committee shall enter into the Committee of the Whole, the national commander shall leave the chair and appoint a chair to preside over the Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole shall consider and report on such subject as may be committed to it by the committee. You heard it was committed by the Committee of Finance. The rules of the committee shall be observed in the Committee of the Whole as far as they're applicable, except the rule limiting the time of speaking concerning the previous question and taking the yeas and nays. The proceedings in the Committee of the Whole shall not be recorded in the minutes of the committee, excepting so far as they are reported to the committee by the chairman of the Committee of the Whole. That's the rules, gentlemen. So anybody that's not on the committee is supposed to leave the room at this time.
So I would appoint who, the finance chair? What did he say? So what? Leaving the room? So, could you clarify who would need to leave the room?
Those that are not members of the committee, so the PNCs are members of the committee, the NECs are the members of the committee, an alternate substituting for an NEC is a member of the committee. Guests are not allowed in the room.
Okay. Well,
Non-voting members.
okay, so we are, if we're following the rules, Mr. Mook? Oh, I thought you were going to say something. At this point, I'm going to ask the Sergeant at Arms to reopen the doors. All those who are non-voting members of the body will please take a step outside for a breather. I'm not really sure. We'll let you know. Okay. Now, am I appointing?
I'm not sure how that works.
What do we do next? Do I appoint? Okay, okay.
So I vacate because I'm not a voting member. Right?
I'm not a voting member either. I'm not either. At this point in time, I believe I need to appoint a someone to substitute in for me, and I'm going to reach out to Mr. Casey. Would you be game to assume my position for this? And I'm going to step away.
Well, you're executive.
Come on up, buddy. I think I have to leave the room. Yeah?
That I don't.
I just don't. All right.
You're elected. I know you wanted to leave. The recorder should leave.
She's done. Oh, yeah, it's all part of the plan.
He had requested.
Yeah, now I gotta bury it in my cheek. Huh? You know, the last time I was on stage and got ahead of where no one knew what was going on was Americanism chairman. Oh yeah, he did lead that, right? Okay, so they bowed out? Your show? Bang that gavel and tell them to shut the doors. All right. All right, I've got no lead, so we will proceed with Mr. Fox. I'm not sure if he needed something. No.
Coming for you. Coming for me.
was an honor to facilitate your discussion. It's a little memento. You can't take his gavel. Yeah. Well, he left it. They must have known you were going to have
Oh, these yours, Chris?
chair for you. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, no, that chair really fits me.
It's a big chair. Yeah.
Here's a gift to you from our sons at BBR.
Oh, wow, super. Thank you.
Greeting cards and we love these and everything. Great work, Parsley.
So like any other committee, you know, they make recommendations and they have to be voted on. They don't make, they had no authority to decide something one way or another.
It was your just discussion. And I think I should give everybody a brief on what was discussed. Do you agree?
Well, that should be in their report. They're supposed to make a report, just like any other committee. They had a reporter. They're supposed to have a reporter.
A report for finance.
No, for the committee of the whole.
Who would give that report?
The reporter, whoever,
Who's the reporter? She didn't take notes.
with somebody, nobody in the committee did. Didn't have a secretary.
I don't think so. I could ask her.
Well, then they
But I
gotta
mean,
have-
we don't take her report and read it back. Do you think I should not say anything to the group about what just happened? All these people that are outside?
whoever. Well, who did they appoint to be the temporary chair?
Chris Casey.
Oh, that's right. Right here.
Yeah.
Well, he should be. He was essentially the committee chair.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds good.
Committee of the whole.
If I could ask everybody to please get back to your seats as quickly as you can, just so we can kind of make up for some lost time here. Sergeant at Arms, if I could ask you to secure the doors again. So, gentlemen, I'd like to, for everybody who had stepped outside, I'd like to explain that what just took place was something new for me. Was a parliamentary procedure calling for a committee as a whole. All of the non-voting members stepped down. I stepped down from the chair, from the seat. I appointed a temporary chair for that committee as a whole, was Mr. National Vice Commander Chris Casey. And I'm going to call upon Mr. Casey now to give a very brief overview of what was just discussed for the entire body. Please, either from here or from the podium.
Chris Casey, National Vice Commander, Chairman of the Committee of the Whole. Finance Commission was the discussion. Ultimately, no action. There's no motion at this time, no formal business. It was brought to the attention to essentially have our membership give more thought to finance reports, the work of the Finance Commission, our role with the American Legion as a program, that we find ways to have more input, more voice, more potential control of finances as Sons of the American Legion. That ends my report.
Thank you, sir. That said, getting back on track, gentlemen, good afternoon. Fellow Sons, Legionnaires, members of the auxiliary, guests, it's fantastic to be here with you today at our spring NEC. And it's a very historic day for a few reasons. First and foremost, we're back in this room. Back in a room that I have no memory of ever meeting in, but some of the older men who have more tenure in the organization do. So I find it to be fantastic that we're here. We're in the home of the American Legion, right? The organization that we are here to support and help. And that's just wonderful. And I was totally excited when I found out that we were coming here. We had another kind of historic day today. I had the privilege of joining SALCA. SALCA is the SAL leadership team. And I joined them this morning for a number of things, but a historic first. The National Judge Advocate, Mark Seavey, along with some of the volunteer leadership of the American Legion, came to our meeting of SALCA to meet with our leaders and really just talk about some things that they wanted to talk about. And that was a first, as I understand it, and that's fantastic because it's a milestone step in the relationship between the Sons of the American Legion and the American Legion. And it's an acknowledgement on their part, I think, that we're a serious group, that they came to us. So I was very touched by that, and I was privileged to be a part of it. Another thing that came out of that meeting this morning was that the American Legion National Judge Advocate said that he had been working with the National Emergency Fund Trust, right? That money sits in a trust, and they are taking steps to amend the trust to allow for full participation of Sons of the American Legion members. And he assured us, well, he didn't give an exact time, that it would be remedied very promptly. So all of the angst about that, all of the upset and angst about that, I think will soon be behind us. I'll touch on, there's so many things here I could say in opening remarks, but all of my visitations have been fantastic, seeing all of you, meeting all of you. But recently I was at a visit to the Detachment of California, which is a wonderful visit, but we got a chance to go out to the Ronald Reagan Library, which is an absolutely incredible facility. It's just fantastic. They have an Air Force One jet inside of the museum. My children and wife were there with me. It was fantastic. And I think I knew a good bit about Reagan. I think he was the first president I voted for was Ronald Reagan. I'll reveal my vote. I was a young guy. But I learned so much about him. And one thing that stood out through his entire life was positive thinking. Throughout that entire museum, almost every exhibit, every plaque about him touched on Reagan's belief in positive thinking. And here we have it, right? Things bad come our way. Change comes our way. Change comes all throughout life. But stay positive. Move the ball forward. When things go wrong, always keep that positive mindset. And if we do, all problems can be overcome. That said, looking forward to a great remainder of the meeting today and tomorrow. And it's an honor. It's unbelievable to me that it's already spring. It feels like just yesterday I was, getting ready to go down to Tampa. So having said that, let's get right on going. And at this point in time, I'd like to call upon past National Commander Chuck Gannon from Maryland to come up for a special purpose. Mr. Gannon? Okay, come on.
Thank you, Commander. Being as we're doing a little history here this morning earlier, or this afternoon earlier, we're going to do a little bit of history now that goes back about 64 years ago. I'm also glad to be back in this room. I think I chaired that meeting that Mr. Fox is talking about. But 64 years ago, we talked about B&A program. At that time, we were a program that the American Legion members thought everybody in the Sons of the American Legion looked like Mr. Clancy's kids. And that was not the case. And believe me, we had a hell of a time selling the program to be what it is today, the national organization. But there was one man there that led that battle. And he's probably missed 3 meetings over that 64-year period, and one of them's today. He's now in a nursing home. Has his good days and bad days. He is the legacy of the Sons of the American Legion. Past Commander J. Richard Stillwell. JR. Normally find him, he would be in the corner today, just standing there looking around. And if he was coming up the hallway, everybody would be moving to the right to get in a room so he wouldn't see them and have a 20-minute conversation about and I would probably be the first one to do that. But 64 years ago, J.R. Stillwell was a National Guard member. And at that time, they were not eligible for the American Legion. He was doing his a weekend tour out here. And he walked the streets of Indianapolis. And I have to assume, knowing J.R., he was probably looking for a libation at a good price. And he found the American Legion here in Indianapolis. He went in. He tried to join. Of course, they told him, you're not eligible because of the way the rules and regulations are written. But however, we can put you in the Sons. So the first detachment J.R. Stillwell belonged to was, in fact, Indianapolis, Indiana. And at that time, it didn't take him long to figure out right down the street's national headquarters. I need to go down there and take a look. And he was sold at that point in time that they needed something he had, a willingness to help, to push. Now, obviously, he was a little bit older than most people. They're probably older than some of the Legionnaires. But he made friends with Legionnaires. And that wasn't easy at that time. Like I said, most of them thought we should be looking like them beautiful kids you got. I never looked like that. So he dedicated himself. It truly is. You hear the term DNA. Truly, J.R. Stillwell had SAL DNA in his body, and he still does. He doesn't perform as well as he used to with it, but he does. And back then they had what they called workshops, and certain sons were invited, 5 or 6 or 7. I happened to be invited to a couple of them, but we won't talk about my involvement there. But J.R.'s involvement was tremendous. So much after the first 2, he was invited by the Legion Committee to be part of their committee to study and maybe become what we have today. And for that reason, he stuck around. Now, many past commanders, and there's 5 or 6 in this room that have done their time, and they stuck around a lot of years, Doug Bible, Chris Cirillo, Dave Stevens, those types. J.R. never missed a meeting. To the point he drove to weekdays sometimes from his home in Illinois to here to headquarters to make sure they were still had this good stuff on their mind, the SAL to him. And he became part of that committee along with Bob Faust from California, was another important individual of that because his grandfather was connected at the time. But he didn't stick around. He went off to law school and all that kind of business and disappeared for a long time. But like I said, J.R. stuck around. For that reason, He is what I would call the legacy of the Sons of the American Legion. And he created a legacy that I will say, I know I won't see it because I'm an old man. Somebody else creates something like that that lasts that long and has a final victory of what we have today. And because of that, Internal Affairs has asked that I come up and talk a little bit, and I've done that, a little history about what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a ward called the Sons of the American Legion Legacy Award, so named after past National Commander J.R. Stillwell. Now, this is not some award that we plan on giving out every other day. This is something that's going to take a while to earn, and there's a set of rules with it. And we're hoping today that you all will pass that resolution when it comes up to create the Sons of the American Legion Legacy Rule named after past National Commander J.R. Stillwell. And we need to remember his greatness. There's a lot of tales could be told. I'll tell a couple. Hotel room somewhere. 10 o'clock at night rolls around and you want to go to sleep. You hand JR a Budweiser. Put him in the corner. At 7 o'clock the next morning, he's still in that corner. Not mumbling, drinking. But he was ready to answer a question any time. And there's a lot of joking about him, but he's a very serious individual. And I don't know if we have anything to film, but we actually have presented the award because he's 93 years old. And the plan was to originally do it here, but something happened that threw that off. So Wednesday, the detachment in Illinois and the department in Illinois went to where his residence is and presented a plaque to him stating a legacy award named after J.R. And J.R. was interviewed by 2 newspapers, did a great job. And they did some filming. They took the film from the newspaper, and I think our liaison was supposed to kind of put that together so we could see it here this afternoon. But I urge you, when the time comes, that we remember we're here today because a few individuals for a 5 or 6 year period fought the American Legion, literally fought the American Legion, like we just mentioned about it with the finances. And it paid off. So what we need to say is persistence does pay off, and the same people in finances won't be there forever. So it may not be you and I to change it, but maybe down the road it'll get changed. But I thank you for the time, and if you have any questions anytime about JR and maybe a little bit history about our great organization, I'm always available, and I'm not really as mean as people think. So you can call me anytime, but I probably won't answer the phone. Anyway, thank you, and remember JR, and not this skinny kid over here. We're talking about the real JR, and remember him, that he and very few others are why we are what we are and where we are today, even though at times it doesn't seem like anybody appreciates that but us. Thank you.
Commander NEC O'Connell from Illinois. On behalf of the members of the Detachment of Illinois, we proudly make a motion to adopt the National Legacy Award named after past National Commander J.R. Stillwell.
We have a motion? Yes, sir.
Tom Deal, NEC from Maryland. I proudly with respect. Second this resolution.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Excellent. Please be seated.
The crayon right there. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. We're actually here today to pass an honor to a gentleman. For those who don't know, we're the American Legion family. The American Legion is the largest veterans organization in Illinois and in the United States. We have an organization that supports and is part of the Legion family called the Sons of the American Legion. That program was started in 1930 what, J.R.?
1933.
1933, and J.R. Stillwell was the first national leader of that organization.
Where's JL?
J.R.
Oh, right there.
J.R. has been instrumental in guiding that organization from a very small organization to over 400,000 members today. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award. It will be named the J.R. Stillwell National Legacy Award. It will be given to other people in the years to come. This is the very first award, and they wanted to award it to J.R. for what he's done. He's been there, he's helped form this organization, he's helped guide this organization to what it is today. That's a great accomplishment. He's from right here in Champaign, Illinois.
Amen.
That's pretty impressive. At this time, I'd ask, as it says, in recognition of exceptional and sustained service to the national organization, the Sons of the American Legion, whose leadership and commitment have materially strengthened the organization and left a lasting legacy, presented by the National Executive Committee in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to have our State Commander Roy Smith come forward and present it to J.R. Stillwell.
JR.
All right.
Congratulations.
Better let that lean up against their. Well, thank you very much. I mean, let's say this, I've been around this organization for around 70 years, and a couple of questions to get asked, I know there's something in the works. So, at the last 4th Division meeting, we had a discussion with some people, and they were asking various questions, and I said, I smell something in there. But I said, I'm a past national commander, I'm a paid up for life member, all kinds of other things. Is there anything else to do? But thank you very much. Thank the organization very much. I'm very proud of what this organization has come to. I'm only one of 5 people that really was in the group that got together quite a few years ago to get the, they started in 33, but it was the local squadron, and that was it. There was no organization. During the Korean War, the few places tried to combine, and Chicago had a area that was combined with, but until myself and about 4 other guys, 3 of them from California, one of them from New York, and I forget where the other guy was. Oh, New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Ohio got together and started working together over a period of a few years. We were able to get in. I was the, shall we say, the lucky one or the unlucky one. They were all in high school and I was out. I was working so I could get off a little easier. And so after we had our meetings at the National Convention, I'd be the one to go up and
There is some slides he's going to pull up, and he's going to show you where the presentation of the plaque of where it's at in Champaign and in the Post. And here it comes. Nope, wrong one. So it's there in the, and there's one more, the next slide. There it is. So it's on display at the Post, and the intention is for it to stay there, and then after its passing, it'll go at the department. Pretty cool, huh? Very cool. Let me just do my thing over here. Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Some things that I forgot to tell you about. Sorry. Downstairs in the basement, come off, go down the elevator, go to your right. Left hand, right hand. Go to the right. And there are machines that you can get soda, water, some food, candy, snacks, whatever, and you can use a credit card to pay for it. My apology, I should have told you that earlier. Also, point of privilege, it is Brian Compton's birthday today. So if you just happen to see him, you know, go smack him across the head. Where's he buying at? He wouldn't be buying because it's his birthday. And also, just wanted to say that, yes, I'm an SAL member too.
Thank you, Kevin, for your report and all your hard work supporting all of us, not you and Brian. All right, at this time, it's time to get right into our commission and committees reports. We're going to start with Americanism. Americanism Commission Chairman Jeffrey Hicks will not be arriving until later this evening, so I'm calling upon Vice Chairman Gerald Hammerschmidt for the Commission's report from Children and Youth as well as the CWF Foundation. Finance Commission and Meeting Communications are on deck. Here he is.
Good afternoon. The report for Americanism will be Mark Nave and Jeff Trout today. Jeff Hicks will be giving you his report from our meeting tomorrow morning. I'll call upon CWF Chairman Mark Nave to give his report.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Four scores, nope, I won't go there.
There you will.
Last night at 6 p.m. in the Ohio room, the CWF committee met. We had 32 people in attendance, a tremendous crowd, a lot of great energy, a lot of information shared. Currently, as of our last report, $236,684 have been donated to date. 50 out of 55 detachments have donated, which, as long as I've been on the committee, this is an all-time high, even already, so congratulations. We are $23,000 ahead of last year's pace, which is 11% increase, so great job. And I know between now and May 31st, we're going to get a lot more money rolling in, and even this weekend, so keep up the great work. As you see out in the lobby, we still have some 2025 merchandise that's still available. You've done a great job with the merchandise. A lot of it's been bought, sold between convention and the fall NEC, but we still have some polo shirts, the blue long sleeve pullover shirts, some coins out there for sale. And if you want some things delivered to your detachment, please reach out to Stacy Cope and make arrangements, and she can get those items sent out to you. One of the things that we did discuss was providing the information. You as a membership have donated great to this organization. As a committee, we owe it to you to answer any questions you provide to us as much as we can, whether it be about the details of the award, the selection process of the award. We went into discussion a little bit about how we go about selecting grants, which start right after National Convention. Last year, we received 263 applications for grants. National headquarters pared it down to about 58 to 60 from where we did our review as a committee and made 6 recommendations. I'm proud to say that the CWF board selected 4 of our recommendations. And even more importantly, after they made the initial selections, they looked specifically at some of the ones that we recommended. And because of the strength of the Sons of the American Legion and the work that was done, they selected those items, those grants. So we are being recognized and we are being listened to. As we get near the end of the year, we gave some donation tips. If you have checks that have been written off the department or by your detachment, provide detail. That's very important because we want to make sure that those that send money in get that appropriate credit. We also talked about getting information from the national organization. You can get listings of your donations to check to make sure that it's accurate. Along with that money that's being donated, we let everybody know that the grant application period has opened up. As of yesterday, May 1st, the application process has started. We are accepting applications between May 1st and July 15th. We talked about the CAT program, the Children's Action Team, which is being brought back. John Mejia, who's our consultant, who you know has a ton of energy and will sell an Eskimo snow. He's spearheading that up, and he is working on having a new pin and a new test for those that want to get involved. As we get information with that, we will definitely share with you that information. Last but not least, we have new 2026 merchandise coming to Louisville. Louisville, my bad. Corrected. So, the merchandise item, and I'll mess it up again, is a Louisville Slugger miniature bat that we'll have available at National Convention. The pricing and logos are still being finalized, but once we get that information, we will get that out to you. And we also have the ties coming back. We've been asked for more ties, so we'll have them in blue and gray, the traditional tie-up ties, the extra long ties we've been requested. We also have the clip-ons, and we also have the favorite zipper ties. But in closing, the success we have with CWF, we're just cheerleaders as a committee. We just try to provide information. We just try to share and encourage. It's the detachments. It's your districts. But most importantly, it's the blue caps that make this happen. And without you, we would be nothing. But because of you, we are the largest donors to CWF. And because of that, I thank you. And that concludes my report, gentlemen.
Thank you, Chairman. Any questions for him?
50-50? Not this time. Not this time. We'll be back in the fall.
other questions? Okay, hearing none, I will call upon Chairman Jeff Trout of Children and Youth.
Thank you, Hammer. You're welcome. Good afternoon. Did I just step in the hole?
I think so.
Can you guys see me? Okay. All right. Very quickly, I'm going to try and hit all the high points. Your Children and Youth Committee has been very busy. We're doing our best to raise awareness of several programs and increase donations by 10% across the board. I will start with the Veterans and Children's Foundation. We all know how important that is. That's where the money comes from that pays for our American Legion service officers to help our veterans get their benefits. We know that's vital. And as far as the children, that's where the TFA, Temporary Financial Assistance, comes in. So we know how important that program is. Let's make sure we're supporting it, please. Also, we're working on raising awareness for the Children's Miracle Network. And we actually found out this year, and we're trying to make sure everybody's aware, that when you donate to a CMN hospital within your state, the money stays there. If you donate it to the national level and it's donated, it goes where you want it to go. When you donate it to the state, you can actually earmark it for a particular project. So please keep that in mind when you're thinking about that one as well. One of the other ones, you see me carry up the yellow ball cap. I don't know, in the back of the room you probably can't read it. Children's Organ Transplant Association. Our support for this program has grown quite a bit in the last couple of years. I know this year alone we have several detachments that this is the commander's project. If you get the opportunity, last night at our committee meeting, Trelly candidate Mike Monserud spoke to us, and he let us know that there's actually going to be a CODA booth at the War Memorial tonight during their reception. Go over and talk to them. Get a feel for what it is that they do, because it's very, very important, and they do great work for veterans as well. And if you decide to hold a fundraiser, the reason I stole this off Ed Cleary's head yesterday from Arizona. Thank you, Mr. Cleary, appreciate it. I'll give it back to him, I promise, maybe in the fall. When you hold a fundraiser, if you contact CODA, they will send you a little bit of swag. These ball caps are actually made by a veteran and given to CODA at no cost. So they distribute them out to those who are holding fundraisers, and that way you can pass them along or maybe use them as an additional fundraiser. So please keep it in mind when you work with CODA, if you work with CODA. So two other big things. I'm going to try not to miss that last one, John, who helped me out this morning at Americanism. But I don't know if the pictures have showed up yet. Mr. Mook, if you can get those slides up. We've been talking several years, I say several, boy, I just made J.R. Hall really old, didn't I? Under PNC Hall, with the Parent-Child Initiative, there was a Maryland squadron that started a pizza garden. By the end of the year, we got tired of telling people how to make pepperoni trees, plant pepperoni trees. So we switched it over to a youth garden. This year, we focused on calling it a victory garden to bring back the memories of the victory gardens from World War II. We do have a digital brochure that's available. I did send that out to the National Vice Commanders and the NECs. I think maybe it got lost in some emails, so that is available if you would like it. But we recently got a trifold that tells about the Victory Garden and talks about its use and what it's for. And inside of it, you'll see that there's a QR code. And that QR code takes you to a link that will show you every flyer that was developed that gives you information as far as what type of garden might work best for you, the region in the country, what's the best time to plant, and not just for vegetables. Think about flower gardens. You may not want to mess with raising some tomatoes, but you may have a veteran in your community that needs a little yard work. Build a flower bed. Bring the kids in. And what I love about this flower is we actually put a quote in it, PNC J.R. Hall. Get children off the Xbox outside doing something with their family. Get it in their hands, get it in their hearts. And that was during his visit to the Victory Garden at Maryland Post 217. That's what we need to do. And when you get the kids, and you'll see them at the Maryland Post, they've had repeat children come back, and they've tried to help them plant their seeds. And I remember seeing a video last year, a little girl said, "I know what I'm doing." I think she was like 5 years old. So when you get it in them and they understand it, and it's really a great benefit to them. So please, we have hard copy brochures now. If you'd like some, let me know. I'll be glad to hand them out. I force-fed them to some guys in the back of the room earlier. You're welcome, by the way. And also I have the digital, so if you'd like to see that, let me know and I can get that to you as well. The other big thing that I want to talk about is the Children and Youth Committee will be putting on a youth room at National Convention in Louisville this year. We're still working out a lot of the details, but it's going to be based off the 250. So Youth Room 250 in Louisville, we'll be looking at doing things like thank you cards. We'll let the kids sign them, and then hopefully, if possible, take them out in the convention center and let them hand them to the veterans after they sign them. In addition to that, we're working with the auxiliary. We have done the patch program with them in the past. This year, I think we're going to try and do poppies. We're going to teach them about the poppy and show them and what it's all about, and then actually let them assemble 250 of them. And the conversation last night was possibly a poppy and a thank you card to the veteran when they hand them out. If we don't get them all handed out at National, we understand there's a local VA in Louisville and also another veterans home. So we will probably box them up and pass it along to them to make sure that they're distributed. We'll obviously work on flag etiquette, and we have some other things in the work. It will be held on that Saturday starting at 9 a.m. Once we get the flyers in the next couple of weeks, I'll be sending that out to the NVCs and the NECs, and hopefully you guys will get that disseminated. Obviously in Kentucky, we're working with, Brandon, are you NEC or ANEC? I'm NEC. Okay, we've reached out to Brandon Curry, and he's been a great help for us already in hopefully contacting the local post and finding the kids to raise the participation in that event, because we are definitely going to do it. So please keep that in mind, start thinking about it, and once we get the information out to you, I would ask for your help in getting that passed down to the locals as soon as we can. We know the people start making plans. It's still it's 3 months away, but we're still already making plans for making the trip, so we know the quicker we get the information out, the better. And that's my report. Thank you.
Any questions for Chairman Trout? Okay. As of right now, the Americanism report will be put on hold until tomorrow morning for Jeff.
Correct. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
John Lawrence, NEC for Louisiana. I'd like to thank Mr. Nave for sending out additional details on the grants that were given out. I do appreciate that. And also, just a note, I mentioned in the Americanism meeting last night, if you do get that Louisville Slugger back, don't put it in your carry-on bag. Otherwise, TSA will have them.
Thank you. Any other questions for me? Hearing none. Thank you. Thank you, Commander.
Thank you, Chairman Hammerschmidt. Vice Chairman. This time I'm calling on the Finance Commission Chairman Edward Cleary for his report. Internal Affairs is on deck, followed by legislation. Legislative. Finance, here we go.
Good afternoon. So we met yesterday at 7:30. We had a short meeting. We had 5 of my committee members or commission members were present, 10 guests. The only business that we dealt with is passing the proposed budget for 2027. And that's the end of my report.
Commission report will be moved to file. At this time, I'd like to call on Internal Affairs Chairman, Mr. Bill Hill, for his report, along with the National Convention and Meeting Committee, Member Training and Development Committee, and the Member and Squadron Activities Committee. Legislative will be on deck.
Mr. Commander, David Lee from New York. I don't believe your microphone is working properly. Some of us in the back really cannot hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commander. Bill Hill, Maryland, National Chairman for National Internal Affairs. Just real quick before I call up the other three committees, we had a really successful meeting this morning at 9:30 a.m. All committee members, all commission members, and liaisons were in attendance, or present or accounted for. We also had about 40 or 45 guests this morning. Surprising, I was like, I never knew IA was that exciting. Come to find out, there was also another meeting that got canceled, so they had nowhere else to go. They were all dressed up. I was like, gee, thanks for telling me that. I had a funny feeling there for a second. I felt great. I want to first start out, as always, extending my appreciation to the commission members for all the hard work they've done throughout the year, as well as our liaisons and such. So they're not here, but they may not be in the room, but I want to recognize them anyhow. I've got Michael Kirshner from Colorado as a vice chair, William Murphy from Massachusetts, who's a member. Terry Harris is also a member. Juan Torres is a member. Jeff Vrabel Jr., Dennis Blue's a consultant. Michael Kennedy Sr. from Ohio is a consultant. Our liaison from Florida, Bill Kelly is our lead. Thank you very much, Bill, for all the stuff you do. John Hook from Connecticut is a liaison. Dil Tonis from Alaska. Joseph Roberts from Arizona. Kevin O'Connell from Illinois. Also have our Salca liaison, Frank McDonald, and our Kona representatives are PNC Dave Stevens and also Mike Cotton. A lot of support comes into what we're doing, so I just want to make sure I gave you a lot of great information on that. At this time, I'll go into committee reports, and I will call up Sean Davis for MT&D.
All right, thank you, Bill. Sean Davis, Detachment Minnesota Chair of Membership Training and Development. We met Friday night at 5 o'clock, and we had 24 people in attendance, including members of the committee plus guests. The report's in your minutes, but let me give you some important information. We are working on content. We have a content library that's ready to go. Our challenge is how to get it out to you with a managed access. So we're in the works of getting that completed. We have a temporary solution where we're finalizing, but we're trying to finalize a permanent solution through National so that you will have access to training at your detachments. So keep that in mind. Keep an eye out for that information when it gets concluded and shareable. Regarding our live training, we had My Legion training for squadrons today. We had approximately 10 people in attendance, and I'd like to thank the Detachment of Arizona, including Gary, Steve, Matt, Ed, for doing that session. I hear it was very great. We're going to use that as a foundation to develop MT&D and anyone else that needs to learn how to share My Legion and get people trained in. It's not about learning to do it, it's about learning how to share it, is really the goal of that session there. That is going to be one of our focuses, how to develop our people that will be learning the skills they need to do to be leaders in this organization. Towards that end, I do want to bring up our national convention. You may have heard, we are not holding National Commander School at the convention. What we are going to be focusing on is, again, skills for our members. We have approximately 4 topics currently that we are working on, and these do include public speaking, post-squadron relations, resolutions, and networking. These will be, we're still finalizing the schedule at the National Convention, but this will be Friday morning, 8 o'clock, and we would like to see a great turnout, and we'll do each session, once we get that order and the schedule is set, for all the members that'd like to attend that aren't otherwise attending other meetings during convention that morning. The other big training initiatives we do have to bring up is our National Regional Information Conferences, NRECs. We've done 2 per year for the last 2 years. This is done in conjunction with the American Legion Auxiliary Mission Training. The Legion invited us to attend for the last 2 years. It's been extremely successful. It is an opportunity for those people in that region, from that detachment and surrounding detachments, to come in. We share knowledge, and we help that knowledge grow and help people interact with each other. This upcoming year, my understanding is we will be doing 3 NRECs. Dates and locations to be determined. Most likely we'll find out around National Convention or shortly thereafter. So I don't know the details, but again, keep your eyes and ears open. We'll share that when we have it. And then, once it's out there, promote it. It is a one-day event. You get and learn a lot, and you especially learn from each other, because you are all a wealth of knowledge. With that, we are still developing content. If you have learning needs, please share them with us. We may have it already available. We just got to share with you, but we may have content that we need to create for you. We've gotten requests for technology training, cybersecurity, AI tools. All these things are going to be in the works as we work together. We'll be working with convention and committee, the convention committee, to make sure we're aware and have everything to go for our convention meetings. And we're also going to be working with membership with some initiatives there from a training standpoint. So with that, I do like to thank my fellow members of the committee, my Vice Chair, Steve Cox, Bill Hollis, Mark Kilstrom, Mike Monsert, and Mike Obramsky. Thank you for all you've done. We keep pivoting, we keep delivering, and we look forward to serving you for the rest of this term. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. It's time I can call up Membership and Squadron Activity Chairman Butch Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everybody hear me okay? Well, I too would like to begin by thanking the members of my committee that have worked long and hard this year to this point. My Vice Chairman, Jason Miller, members Matthew Krupko, Jason Pepe, George Gray, consultants Michael Breeson, Michael Sherman, Jimmy Edwards, and Gary Manuel, as well as our regional reps, Henry Hasselman, Scott Williams, Phil Stander, Casey Hansen, Matt Griffiths, and our liaisons, Mark Cheney, Jack Youngs, Juan Cruz Rodriguez, Terry Hansen, and Bob Phillips. Thank you for everything you guys have done. We couldn't have done it without you. So, to the NEC, thank you. Please be sure when you go home to thank all of your members in your respective detachments for the exceptional work that they have been doing on membership. As an organization, we have reached and exceeded the percentage goals by each target date. The 100% target date is just around the corner, May 13th to be exact, and we are so close. As of the April 30th membership report, we are currently sitting at 94.08%, and our retention is sitting at 84.53%. So you can see we are close to reaching this year's goal of 409,244 members. That's only a short 24,255 members to go between now and National Convention. Keep up the great work. I'm also proud to report that during this administrative year, your committee has developed the material needed to create an SAL membership toolkit that will be available for electronic distribution no later than July 1st. This toolkit will aid detachments, districts, and squadrons in collecting, keeping, and giving our members the information they need to provide efficient control and maintenance of their membership rosters. The toolkit will contain the following, but is designed to change as needed. There'll be a new member mentorship guide with suggestions to recruit and keep active and engaged members. There'll be SAL buddy check scripts to aid in reducing the loss of members due to lack of communication, interest, or compassion. An SAL membership awards guide with embedded links to allow our members to see what kinds of membership awards are available that they can apply or qualify for. An application for the I Got One for the Legion shirts to aid in the recruitment of new Legionnaires by members of the Sons of the American Legion. This will be an ongoing program. The shirts will change every year to a different color, and I was asked earlier today how much are those shirts. They are $40 each. The new 2026-2027 revised membership target date percentages handout. Some of you have seen those in social media, which has been designed to be a more aggressive membership strategy in order to closely mimic the goal percentages of the American Legion. Also included is the membership outreach program information, which is what you all know as the briefcase/backpack program developed by the Detachment of Arizona. That's for completing your yearly membership duties digitally online. This information will include an instruction sheet as well as an Amazon dedicated page where you can order the materials you need to make that possible, all for under $300. So I also want to ask the NEC about one more thing that was approved today for us. Are you in or are you out? We're starting a new educational module called July In, December Out. July 1st is the beginning of our administrative year, and that's when everybody in this room and all of your members should begin paying your dues for 2027. Because if you don't get them paid by December 31st, you're out. So we've developed a calendar that will be available, as well as graphics that you can use. You can print them anywhere from the size of a business card all the way up to a poster to hang in your post home, all to make sure that our members understand paying your dues early benefits them every time. It benefits their eligibility. don't dishonor the memory of your ancestor or their service by not paying your dues on time. That being said, that concludes my report. The rest of it is in your packet for the minutes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report, and I thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you, Butch. Outstanding job. Last but not least, other committees, the things you guys probably want to hear the most about is convention and meetings. Alan?
Thank you, Chairman. So who's ready for Louisville? Louisville, oh. I'll buy you a beer. The meeting was held this morning at 8 a.m. in the Circle East. I do need to thank the entire committee, first off for turning reports in ahead of time, and then also Cliff Hall and others who chaired the meeting due to me being double booked. The meeting did go very well. We covered a lot of multiple of the reports that were submitted from the different recent meetings we've had. First and foremost, what people want to hear about are the plans that the Detachment of Kentucky have put together. There will be a Friday night social at one of the local posts. It will include a fish fry. There will be live entertainment. There will be more information in the packets that have been sent out from the meeting notes, and we will be getting other information out. The question that has come up, that is a pay on your own, and it is a first come, first serve. They also have pins, coins, and mugs, all which will be sold. Estimated prices are in the meeting notes, still to be finalized. They are working with both Florida and Louisiana to confirm the estimated amount of pins, coins, and mugs they should be ordering. There is a black and white picture of the pins and the coins in your notes again. Look sharp to me, and looking forward for them and how they're going to sell them. They're right now not set up to do pre-sales, but they will have them definitely at convention, around the convention hall. One of the things that this committee has been challenged with is how do we keep people engaged, and the words have been keep people in their seats. We see that as how do you make sure things go smoothly, there's good content, and that there's some pieces that are going to be engaging. So we have been working hard. We've met once with the Adjutant Corps. We met this past Friday with the Adjutant Corps and the Sergeant at Arms, talking about the audio-visual. How are we going to deal with the green room, and how do we keep awards flowing smoothly? We've made a lot of great progress in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll continue to do that to make sure that the convention is enjoyable and also efficient. Finally, we know you're hearing this here, but we need to get this out to many other people. So we will have upcoming articles in the Millennium. We will be getting a lot more information out to the National Vice Commanders so they can share all this out. We're also going to be reaching out to our commission and committee chairs. We are looking for pictures and videos. So especially those chairs that will have reports. If there are certain pictures you'd like to have up while you're giving your report, please make sure you're getting those to Mr. Van Patten. There is a deadline of July 1st. We need those early so he can start to put the content together into the total plan for the weekend. I do appreciate, and the committee appreciates, the questions and comments that did come up in our meeting. We will be following up on the ones I haven't touched upon here today. And we are all looking forward to seeing you that last full weekend of August in Kentucky, Louisville. Is that better? There we go. Most of it. At least I can say McGuanago. Thank you very much, and that's my report.
Thank you, Alan. As you heard, there's a lot of activity going on for those three committees. They're all constantly doing things. I'm seeing a lot of positive emails and phone calls, and giving them the autonomy to go forward and do what they think is the best for the organization. It's been great working with them. A couple of quick things one that Sean was going to mention, and I'm sure he intentionally did this so I can remind everybody instead, is, Legion Basic Training. Who here has taken Legion Basic Training and passed the cert? There's a lot less hands up than there are hands that did it. I would encourage you to go take that. It doesn't take very long to do it. I was able to pass it, so it can't be that tough. So just think about that. But something we're also looking at building in addition to that is an SAL basic training as well, with the same kind of certification. That's still theoretical right now, a lot more going into that, but some things we're going to start working on. As you also heard too, that Alan mentioned, there's a lot more collaboration this year between convention committee and the other two committees, especially like MT&D and such, about what's going on. So they're both aware of what's taking place and transpiring at convention. You know, Sean mentioned that they're going to do the 4 modules or 4 kind of open sessions at convention. We got great feedback that, you know, let's broaden it beyond the detachment commanders. Let's do something that's for everybody. What the intent is to hopefully bring more blue caps in who attend convention. We all come here. We've been doing this for several years. You know, we want to make this something a little more expanded at convention for just a regular blue cap and people to come. You also heard more additional initiatives from children and youth, getting more activities for the children and youth there at convention as well. So we're looking to help build on that. Again, gentlemen, thank you very much for your reports. We moved into our meeting, we moved into old business. The final thing was just reviewing our notes and such for our fall NEC and finalizing the National SAL Trophies and Awards Ceremonial Manual. That's basically, that manual is an administrative manual that many moons ago, there was a resolution to put that manual in place and for it to be governed under the internal affairs. I found it a couple of years ago. All that committee really is, it's really the Internal Affairs Commission itself. But they're basically responsible for maintaining the administration and updating that manual. We've done this over the past couple of years. We've got it reasonably accurate, I would say. We're going to disseminate and then put that out as an officially complete at this time to the commission and others. We'll work with Ken Mook and stuff to do that. But I do encourage the commissions and committees and such to provide feedback on where you see there are gaps or you know, and the key on this is you know the authoritative information to make that award official. Because as you'll see as part of our resolutions today too, we found several gaps in awards that are being presented where there's not a resolution to tie it back to it. So in theory, those awards aren't official awards if you don't have a resolution tied to it, but we're working to clean all that up, match all that up, and get everything straightened out in all our awards. That moves on to our new business where we had discussed in our virtual meeting back in February. We had five resolutions moving forward. Those resolutions were submitted properly through the resolution process. They were moved forward to the resolution subcommittee, and our meeting was adjourned at 10:45. Commander, that is my report minus the resolution, sir.
Thank you, sir. I will entertain a motion at this time to accept the Internal Affairs Commission report minus the resolutions.
David Lee from New York makes that motion.
David Lee from New York makes a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Mr. Commander, Brandon Curry, NEC, Kentucky. I second the motion.
Brandon Curry from Kentucky makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Thank you, sir.
Okay, here are the resolutions. SAL Resolution 12, Spring 2026, establishing National Convention Award Cutoff and Validation Timelines, Origin Internal Affairs Commission. Whereas the Sons of the American Legion administers numerous national trophies and awards established over many decades by resolutions, policies, and historical practice, and whereas the absence of a uniform governance framework for award qualification timelines, submissions, deadlines, validation, and national convention presentation has resulted in inconsistency and operational strain, and whereas national staff must be afforded sufficient time to validate award recipients and procure recognition items in advance of national convention activities. Now therefore be it resolved by the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion in regular meeting assembled in Indianapolis, Indiana on May 2nd through 3rd, 2026, that all national trophies and awards and validation governance as defined by the owning commission or committee and consistent with the National Trophies and Awards and Ceremonies Manual, and be it further resolved that national awards may be either submission-based or automatically qualified through authoritative national systems of record, and that award-specific qualification timelines, submission deadlines, validation procedures, and notification methods shall be established and published by the owning commission or committee, and may be updated independently of this resolution, and be it further resolved that any prior resolution, rule, policy, or published guidance establishing national awards shall remain in full force and effect, except where provisions relating to award qualification timelines, submission deadlines, validation procedures, or national convention presentation requirements conflict with the governance established by this resolution. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall not alter the purpose, eligibility, ownership, judging authority, or historical recognition of any national award, and that in the event of conflict, the governance established herein shall control solely for the purposes of National Convention Award administration and presentation, effective with the first National Convention following adoption, and be it finally resolved that the validation timeline shall be June 30th of the calendar year at the close of business. As a member of the NEC, I make a motion that we accept this resolution.
Mark McHugh of the Detachment of Massachusetts makes a motion to adopt Resolution NEC 2026 S9. Is there a second?
Mr. Commander, Brandon Curry, NEC Kentucky, I second the motion.
Motion is seconded by Brandon Curry of the Detachment of Kentucky. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and we're out of order, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna do number 9 now. SAL Resolution 9, Spring 2026. Ratify and govern historically recognized national awards of the Sons of the American Legion. Origin Internal Affairs Commission. Whereas the Sons of the American Legion has, over time, established and administered numerous national trophies and awards recognizing service, achievement, and program excellence, and whereas certain historically recognized national awards continue to be administered and presented despite the absence of a clearly identifiable establishing resolution, and whereas the National Trophies and Awards and Ceremonies Committee has developed a national awards program manual to provide a consistent, forward-looking framework for the governance, administration, and presentation of national awards. Now therefore be it resolved by the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion in regular meeting assembled in Indianapolis, Indiana on May 2nd through 3rd, 2026, that all historically recognized national awards documented in the Sons of the American Legion National Awards Program Manual are hereby ratified as legitimate national awards of the organization. And be it further resolved that such awards shall be governed on a forward-looking basis under the provisions of the National Awards Program Manual unless and until an individual establishing or superseding resolution is adopted. And be it further resolved that this resolution does not alter the purpose, eligibility, or intent of any award, nor does it negate or supersede any existing resolution currently governing an award. And be it finally resolved that this resolution shall take effect beginning with the first National Convention following its adoption. As a member of the NEC, I make a motion that we accept resolution number 9.
Mark McHugh of the Detachment of Massachusetts makes a motion to accept NEC Resolution number 9. Do we have a second?
Joe Schultes, NEC Indiana, seconds.
Joe Schultes, NEC Indiana, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution carries.
Okay. SAR Resolution number 11, Spring 2026, Modernization of the National History Book Award. Origin Internal Affairs Commission. Whereas the Sons of the American Legion administers numerous national trophies and awards established over many decades by resolution, policies, and historical practice, and whereas the official rules governing the History Book Contest were adopted by the National Executive Committee on May 7, 2000, and whereas the award has historically recognized excellence in documenting the annual activities, achievements of squadrons, districts, and detachments, and whereas it is appropriate to modernize submission processes, strengthen transparency in judging, and ensure long-term sustainability of the award. Now therefore be it resolved by the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion in regular meeting assembled in Indianapolis, Indiana on May 2nd through 3rd, 2026, that all national trophies and awards presented at National Convention shall be governed by standardized award qualification submission and validation governance as defined by the owning commission or committee and consistent with the National Trophies, Awards, and Ceremonies Manual. And be it further resolved that the existing National History Book Contest shall continue under updated official policy and judging guidelines effective with the 2027 administrative year administered through Membership and Squadron Activities Committee with the Internal Affairs Commission structure in coordination with the National Historian, with categories of squadron, district, region, and detachment, utilizing digital submission as the standard method and judged by convention-assigned delegates with the National Historian coordinating administration and presentation, but not serving as judge. As a member of the NEC, I make a motion that we accept resolution number 11.
Mark McHugh of the Detachment of Massachusetts make a motion to adopt resolution of the NEC number 11. Do we have a second?
Mr. Commander, Brandon Curry, NEC Kentucky, I second the motion.
We have a second from Brandon Curry, Detachment of Kentucky. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Commander, John Lawrence, NEC for Louisiana. Just clarifying, does that make the submissions totally digital now?
That's the intent, is to move to the digital format, correct?
Okay, I just wanted a clarification.
But it also note, it's 2027, so yes, we'll have them done by then.
Any other discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Legislative is up. Public meeting and communication is on deck.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As always, it's an honor to stand up here representing the Legislative Commission and share this physical space with you. My report will be brief, is a statement you'll never hear from me. But it's important you listen to this report because the action you take hopefully make a difference. The Legislative Commission met by Zoom on April 9th last month. Many of you know that that was also the commander's homecoming weekend, so it was, I don't want to say sparsely attended because we did have people on the Zoom that were at the Legion function on Thursday night. But with them being gone and the vice commanders not being involved in the thing, we got through in 20 minutes. So, yeah, that tells you what you guys monopolize a lot of time, but I'm glad you're there, don't get me wrong. All right, to recap what the commission has been doing this year. We work behind the scenes to get our members involved in legislation on both the national and the state levels. The biggest push we have is getting members to sign up for Voter Voice. Voter Voice is simple and effective in reaching Congress. We have the George B. Evans Award, given to a member that goes beyond veterans, that goes above and beyond veterans and their families by giving time and effort on the state and national level. It can be nominated by an individual, by a squadron, by the detachment, and we just need to know that a member of the commission can be nominated if he's doing stuff with your local legislators and on the state and national level. So don't think that that's just because we're on the commission, we can't get our own award. The most visible thing we do is the Washington Conference. SUNS members participate in meetings with Congress and the American Legislative Commission. We need you to stay over and storm the Hill with us on Tuesday. Read and learn the legislative points that are put out by our parent organization. The bus trip we do is a bonus to get you to DC. Since I now mentioned the bus trip, I want to thank all of you who were with us on that Sunday. the former commission members who stepped up and assisted due to the large number of participants. The logistics of 4 buses were more complicated than you could imagine. I don't think we can go above 4 ever, and I'm not sure the National will allow us to go more than 4. But some changes may have to be made, and there has been some discussion on the growth and the cost to the National for the trip. Now for what we really do as Legislative Commission, and this is where you can help. We have 400,000 plus members, and yet only about 2,500 are signed up on Voter Voice as sons. I mean, I understand dual members are probably signed up with the American Legion, but that still leaves a large number of sons, true sons, not signed up. As I said before, it's simple and effective. The Major Richard Starr Act was first introduced as a House resolution in 2019-2020. It was read, referred to the Armed Services and Finance Committees, and there it sat. Each year it gets reintroduced and referred to the same committees. It gets co-sponsors, but it never gets discussion or debate. With the midterm elections coming up, you will hear incumbents saying they support veterans legislation, but they do very little with it. I mean, we're still pushing that for this year again. It's time to pressure our electorate with emails saying it's time for them to act. The latest issue of Imprimis, if you know what Imprimis is, it's put out by Hillsdale College, has as its headline, "Are we subjects or citizens?" The article is more about the 14th Amendment and the birthright citizenship, but you understand that we are not here to serve Congress. They produce very little other than over-regulating us. At the fall, I said some things that offended some of you, and I received some praise from others for what I said. What you need to know is that I may say things you don't want to hear, but I don't say anything I don't want to hear. Since I'm older than many of you, I look at things a little differently. I know we are a nonpartisan organization, and I know that what nonpartisan means. I know we have all political sides represented here: Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservative, progressive, and possibly socialists. I have never seen until recently our government officials cheer for the failure of our military, our economy, and foreign policy. The willingness that we be totally dependent on government while sending our troops overseas with no accountability is beyond my ability to comprehend. Never did I think the day would come when people would task with our national security, the DHS, ICE, TSA, Secret Service, whose paychecks are being held hostage by Congress, experience the ridicule and the vilification of those leaders and citizens of our country. I thought we were a nation of law and order. This organization says we are. Our preamble says we are. Now, guys, it's time to back that up with your voice and your vote. In 2018, the late Charles Krauthammer said of the current president, "You may not like him. He is a pragmatist. He is someone who understands that it takes more than hollow promises and political correctness to make America great again." Gentlemen, that's my report, and I ask that it be moved to file.
If there are no objections, the Legislative Commission report will be moved to file. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm calling on Public Media and Communications Chairman Kevin Chaplin for his report. Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation and BE&E will be on deck.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Media and Communications Commissions met today, May 2nd at 8 a.m. in the Meridian East lower level of the Sheraton Indianapolis City Center Hotel. Following commission members were present: Chairman Kevin Chaplin, Vice Chairman Bobby Crivelli, members Doug Heiser and Mike Pook, National Newsletter Editor Rusty Myers, PNC Liaison David Faust, Consultant David Manel, and our NEC liaisons Jacob McCarty, Bobby Hoffer, Carl Rusidovich, and I would like to thank all of our team members and guests that attended. There's something I'd like to bring to your attention. The Legion has created a video recording platform called Share Your Why. SAL members are encouraged to share why they joined, what makes them proud to be a son via video recording. With over 400,000 members, the Sons of the American Legion undoubtedly contains over 400,000 unique stories on why its members are going above and beyond to honor the veterans whose service enabled those members and to join SAL. At the American Legion National Headquarters, we want to share those stories. We're calling on SAL members to share my why. They have set up a link through which SAL members can briefly share why they joined and what makes their squadron unique, what makes them proud to be a son. They have 3 questions. Why did you join the Sons of the American Legion? What makes your squadron unique? And what makes you proud to be Sons of the American Legion member? They want you to tell your why and what keeps you involved and engaged with the organization. If you go to a browser and search legion.org, share your why, SAL, share your why, you'll immediately go to that page, and there's a link there with lots of instructions. Really would like to see everybody in this room to share their why. At this time, I'm going to turn over the report to my Vice Chairman, Bobby Crivelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bobby Crivelli, Vice Chairman of Media and Communications for Attachment of California. As I hope we are all aware and we've all seen, our organization is in many ways a top-down organization. Yet, for some reason, we have a communications problem. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have seen it on all levels of the organization. And our commission has thought long and hard about this problem, and we decided what better way than to start a good example than with the NEC. And what better way to do this than with press releases. Press releases on the activities of the NEC that can be distributed to the media, that can be distributed to the general membership, but most importantly, can be distributed to you, NEC-men. A template of what happened, a synopsis of what happened at the NEC that could be easily turned into a report for an NEC-man to their detachments of what happened at the NEC. Obviously, it will include a brief description of what happened. We are also going to open it up to any relevant links that any commissions and committees might want to share from the NEC. But most importantly, there's going to be a section of this report with all the calls to action. Any commission and committee that have come up here today and have made a call to action for you NEC-men, we are going to do our best to put it in that part of the press release. That way there is a clear to-do list, and that tasks have a better chance of getting done. In order to solve this, and in best effort to do this, our newsletter editor, Rusty Myers, was so gracious to afford us a page in the Millennium. So you'll be able to find this press release in the Millennium. But speaking of calls to actions, here's our call to actions from Media and Communications. First of all, our first call to action is snapshots of service. Many of you have seen this. It may be one of the more recognizable awards at National Convention, where we have pictures, snapshots, videos of service, videos of sons doing our work, serving our organization across the year. Unfortunately, we have had very seldom submissions for this award, and our deadline is June 30th. And we want to make sure that everyone knows how to submit snapshots of service, how to submit videos or videos of service. So that link to a relevant article and all the relevant publications will be in our press release. This is such an important way to express the work that we have done, the so important work that we have done as the Sons throughout the year, and maybe one of the most visible ways. Our second call to action is we need pictures and content for the Millennium. Rusty Myers is chomping at the bit to get as many pieces of pictures, as many content, and many articles that you possibly can through the Millennium. And it's open to anyone. If you have someone in your detachment, if you have someone in a squadron that you think might have an interesting story to tell, might have an interesting article to write, talk to them. Have them reach out to Rusty. We want to hear perspectives from all levels of the organization and from all across the country. We also want to have an article talking about the namings of certain awards that we have on the national level. There are George B. Evans Awards, the Marvin Ney Award. These awards obviously must have an interesting story behind them of where they were named, the person that they're named after. And we want to do good honor to those namees. And so any commissions and committees that know the story, or anyone who does know the story behind some of those awards, we are more than interested in hearing it and featuring it in the Millennium. One thing you heard from me back in the fall is we have America 250, the 250th anniversary of our country, and we have Memorial Day right around the corner. What better way to get pictures for snapshots of service, videos for videos of service, or just general publicity for our organization than the upcoming holiday that should be fresh on all your minds by the time it comes, and the 250th anniversary of our country. Please, when you go out with your squadrons, go out with your detachments, and you celebrate these monumental events, remember, take pictures. Remember, take videos. Remember, share those videos and pictures wherever you can. We are also looking for an assistant newsletter editor for the Millennium. So if anyone has a PR chairman, if anyone has someone in their detachment that you think may be interested in working with the Millennium, please reach out to Rusty Myers. He's looking for an assistant newsletter editor. And we are also looking for historian contacts. Our Media and Communications Commission, in an effort to solve this communication problem that we have, we are trying to find as many people that would be good contacts to disseminate information through. One of the lists that we want to create is a list of all the historians throughout all the detachments. That is something that we have not been able to curate just yet, and we would be more than happy for NEC men, detachment commanders, if you could please reach out to either me or Kevin. Both of our emails are on the website with commissions and committees, and just let us know who your historian is, contact. We want to get that. We want to get that through. All in all, I'll end with the same thing that I ended with in the fall. We have an incredible year ahead of us. We have so much opportunity ahead of us, and we need to publicize it as well as we possibly can, to every extent. We need to hit this ball out of the park. So please, pull all the stops, put everything you can into making sure our organization is known well throughout the country. And with that, Commander, I'd like to end our commission's report.
Mr. Chairman and Vice Chairman, great job, thank you. If there are no objections at this time, the Media and Communications Commission report will be moved to file. Thank you. At this time, I call upon the VA&R Chairman Bruno Williamson for his report. Veterans Employment and Education is on deck, followed by the SAL 100th Anniversary Ad Hoc Committee.
Good afternoon. Jeff, I think I found that hole you were talking about. Get on my toes. I'd like to thank the members of this year's commission. We've got an amazing group this year. Everybody has been engaged, be it the commission members, our NEC liaisons. Can you give me a moment, please? Are we recording? You suck, Kevin. All right, so where was I? So the commission has engaged everybody, liaisons, reps, members. So I'd like to thank Vice Chair Todd Cabela, Eddie Seegers, Bill Sutherland, Peter DeAngelis, David Aaron, our NECs, Nick Arcio, Steve Pentarich, John Meacham, and Lee Preston, and our Kona rep, PNC Tommy Cisna, our Salka rep, PNC Chuck Gannon, and also from Salka, PNC Cliff Smith, and if you know Cliff, he's always engaged in a meeting. So gentlemen, thank you all for the work you've done. You're doing all the heavy lifting. I'm just the pretty face of this commission. And evidently, hobbit size. So briefly, I'll go over some of the projects we're working on this year. You've got a larger overview in your minutes. Moving Veterans Forward is technically crossing the line into VEE. It's founded by an Army veteran, Ron Hernandez, working on homeless veterans in Nebraska and western Iowa. The last couple of years, you may have heard about a squadron in Texas, Squad 208, Kerrville, Texas. They have a project or a program they do working with local deer hunters. They give them their catch. The squadron has the meat processed, and they are distributed to food banks supporting veterans in need. United Service Organization, we all have heard about the USO for 60, 70 years, bringing a little bit of home to our veterans, our active military, and their families. Canines for Warriors is a program that saves rescue dogs, trains them to be service dogs to all era veterans suffering from PTSD, TBI, and MST. Currently, since 2011, they have saved 2,500 dogs to become service dogs for our veterans, saving lives at both ends of the leash. Minnesota has a unique program called Legionville. The Detachment of Minnesota runs a program in Baynard, Minnesota that does deer hunting for disabled veterans each year. And they have some of their tree stands that are adapted to lift wheelchair veteran hunters up into the stands. They also do a turkey hunt during the year, and a camporee, which is a 4-day camping weekend for veterans, active duty, and their families. Veterans Affairs and Volunteer Service, VAVS, something that's been passionate for me for years. I have a goal to have representation in 60 of the 170 VA medical centers we have across the country. We currently stand at 56, so NEC's National Vice Commanders, I could use some help. Hopefully the application is in the minutes. If not, I can get them to you. But not just to meet the goal of getting four more representatives. Our reps at the hospitals are our liaison between the hospital and be it our detachment, division, district, or squadrons. And it gives us a presence there. The Sons are members of the National Advisory Committee, the NEC. If we can get to 80 members, we become permanent members of the Executive Committee. We are currently on it. We come off at the end of this year. But if we can get to 80 members, we can stay on the Executive Board. Bernie recently just talked about Washington Conference, and kudos to your commission, Bernie. What a great job you guys did. Yep. Your VAR commission went a little bit rogue in DC this year. Some of us were able to go on the wreath lane, and after the wreath lane, we tried to get into everybody's pockets. We had guys stationed at the buses with a bucket to take donations, and evidently I can't add because we thought we made a little bit over 1,100. I got an email from the DC VA Medical Center, and we actually gave them a donation of $1,220 from just getting into your folks' wallets as you came off the bus. So I thank you for that. The commission attended the morning session of the American Legion VANR meeting, and then, as I said, we went off reservation a little bit. We went and made a visit to the Washington, D.C. VA Medical Center. We brought the cash donation with us, and I asked the guys on the commission if they were able to bring anything because we were going to go play bingo. You do not go to VA without playing bingo. And the guys came through. The non-cash items totaled over $2,000, so a little bit over $3,200 was donated by the commission and you guys for that visit. We were able to do a VA SAVE training on veteran suicide awareness. We originally were going to play bingo, but COVID was on the ward, and with everybody traveling here or there, my NEC from France was with us, and everybody across the country, we didn't need to go on ward, so we were able to get a little bit of a tour of the DC VA. So it was a pretty amazing day for us in Washington, and this is something that the commission moving forward is going to continue to do. Either we will go to the DC VA, possibly Walter Reed, VACO, or a Fisher House, but when we go to DC, we need to start doing what Sons do versus sitting 8 hours in a meeting. The Charles B. Rigsby Award. is the VAR Commission's annual award. Hopefully it is in your minutes. Past years, we get 1, 2, maybe 3 applications. There have been years where we didn't get an application for this award. The reports I see, I know we've got 3, 4 guys in every detachment, if not more, doing something for Veterans Affairs and rehabilitation. So please, I ask you, I beg you, or as Bobby said, challenge you maybe, please let us get some applications for this award. And lastly, it's not in your minutes. I just came back from the National Advisory Committee Executive Board meeting in San Antonio, so we'll get this added later. There's been a big issue with onboarding our regularly scheduled volunteers and our representatives and deputy representatives. 2 years ago, they were having us rebadge every 6 months because issues with cybersecurity and all that. Now we're going to a 5-year badge and having to go through a Tier 1 screening. It's caused a lot of heartache in some of our VAs. At my own VA, we've had people, volunteers, who have said, we're done. There's too much paperwork, there's too much hassle. Some of our older volunteers either don't have computers, don't have web access, internet access, and after the application process, you get 2 emails and you have to go through that process, and some of them have said that we're done. We don't want to do this anymore. We may come back as an occasional volunteer, but not a regularly scheduled, and I understand it's a pain. I'm going through the process. Currently, I'm 3 years into a 5-year badge, and my badge got pinged, and I'm having to go through the process right now. So that was a topic at the NEC a couple days ago in Texas, and VA was pretty ready for, trying to come up with the term that's not construction related. They were ready for a war, if you will, just because of the heartache this is putting on all of us. So what we've been told and how this is working in the federal government, government doesn't understand what volunteers are. They don't have a term for volunteers, and VA is unique where they have volunteers. So we are EWOCs or FWOCs, federal without compensation. So we're an employee without compensation. So we now have to follow the same rules that a paid employee does and has to go through, which is a Tier 1 background and all the mess that is now coming with that. So a recommendation that has come from the NEC, which is essentially our version of a resolution, is that we're going to ask the Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs to go back to the old SAC card, which is a 1 to 5 year card that doesn't require such an extensive background check. And the only people that would need the Tier 1 would be those who need computer access at VA or our VTN, our Volunteer Transportation Network drivers, be it transporting with the DAV vans or driving shuttles on campus. So we're going to be submitting that recommendation at the full NEC in September. And we hope it goes to the Secretary, and we hope that does go through, because that will end a lot of heartache for all of us. And with that, Commander, that is your VA&R report, unless there's any questions.
Chairman Williamson, thank you for a great report. If there are no objections, the Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Commission report will be moved to file. And at this time, I'd like to call up the Veterans Employment and Education Commission Chairman, Mr. Darrell Vanderstreet, Jr.
As you notice, my book, since I was membership chairman, has become quite smaller. So I will be bold, and I will be, well, I don't know about beautiful, but if you've looked in the mirror and seen me lately, that's still up for judgment. But the only problem about coming up here and giving a report is I got to follow, if I say his name right, I got to follow Bobby Cravell. Have you ever heard him? I mean, he sets the bar, like right up there.
for public speaking. It's phenomenal. It was only, it seems like just a few months ago, I was up here at Fall NEC, first time being appointed as B&E chairman, and I'll be honest with you, I had no clue what it is. I mean, part of my feedback at that point in time was trying to build a foundation and putting building blocks together for the future, for the commission, and asked you guys for input. A lot of the input I got back, whether it was from members here, detachments, or squadrons, was we need direction. What is the direction? What do we do? What is VE&E? Well, at Washington Conference, the direction given to us from the American Legion, VE&E, was homelessness. As you see, I passed out a pamphlet from the VA. It's a brochure. This brochure, in a lot of ways, it helps to extend the reach of VE&E beyond our organization. Often, many times, the first responders are the first people in contact with homeless veterans. What a free, I say free way, because you can download this from the internet, you can print it off, go to Staples or Vistaprint and get as many copies as you want. But what a wonderful way for an outreach for homeless veterans if we could put some of these in every person's, I say person's hands when I refer to first responders, firemen, ambulance crews, EMS, I mean, there's policemen. But now I do want to give you, part of the foundation I was talking about is we put together, the direction we were given was homelessness. And we're also working on a pamphlet, which is currently in progress, which I hope will give some clarification, if approved. It will define VE&E, provide actionable guidance for members at all levels, establish consistency across the detachments and the squadrons. This is I would say nowhere near done, because I don't know how long the approval process and which direction it's got to take. This is the first time for me to go through this to get a trifold done. So with that foundation, you also heard me at the last NEC meeting mention the word substance. So if we're going to put it together, let's put some substance to that foundation and what it is. We're currently working on a resolution within VE&E for success stories. And when I say that, the idea is to highlight real impact at a squadron level, promote best practices across detachments, and strengthen the visibility of VE&E efforts nationally. Now, I'm sure we've all, and it's true for many of us, if not all of us, when you see something successful and you see something that works, everybody wants to belong to it. People want to participate. So the idea is, if you're doing something extraordinary, you're doing something well at the detachment level, the squadron level, let's hear about it. Put it together, share your stories, and put it into an essay. And let us, if approved, let us judge it and share those at national convention when we set up our table. Now, so the key, in short, just to wrap things up, so the key takeaway would be connect veterans to employment, assist a veteran in crisis, and share one success story. Short and sweet. Commander, that is my report for VE&E.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no objections at this time, the Veterans Employment and Education Commission report will be moved to file. Next up at this time, I'll call on the SAL 100th Anniversary Ad Hoc Committee Chairman Tyler Vanis for his report. Emergency preparedness is on deck, followed by the Subcommittee on Resolutions.
Good afternoon. Let me see. Here we are. So, thank you for letting me talk about the 100th anniversary. Hopefully all of you are aware that that is going to be coming up in a couple years. Our mission still remains clear. That is to honor and celebrate a century of serving America's veterans. And we're not simply moving towards 2032. All the work that we're doing now is going to leave a lasting impression, a legacy for how future generations are going to remember us. I'm not going to read a full report because, right, you all have that in the minutes that were previously received, but I do want to thank the committee members, past National Commander Kevin Winkleman, PNC David Faust, PNC Greg Gibbs, as well as Juan Rodriguez and Bill Towns for all the work that they have been doing, as well as all of you here. Every meeting and going forward, I'm going to make the same ask to all of you. That is simple. Go back to your detachments and let them know that we need their help. At the national level, they do not keep records of what goes on at your detachment. National does not have a list of your past detachment commanders. They do not have those photos. If you submit history books or scrapbooks, very few do, very few make their way to national. If you do not submit those to our committee, there is a great likelihood that your detachment would be underrepresented when we do our book in 2032 or other publications. So please, I cannot stress enough, please go back to your detachment, whether it's the historian or someone that has a passion for history. Someone has this information. Someone's got to do the legwork. You have a couple years to do it, but start it now. We have 11 detachment representatives that have been joining us on our monthly meetings. We also have a list from 10 detachments of their past detachment commanders. So thank you all for supplying those and for participating. On the opposite side of that, that means over 40 detachments have not gave us a representative. So please go back, find someone, tell your commander just to appoint someone and join us on our meetings. Our meetings were monthly. We're going to move them to being every other month on the even months, starting on the first Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Why? Because we can't do a whole lot of work right now until we get a budget. We have a resolution in to move from a ad hoc committee to being a standing committee, which is essentially one of the requirements to get a budget. That was already submitted. Sadly, the American Legion Finance Committee doesn't meet till Monday, so after we close. So the likelihood is that we'll likely get that approved, hopefully, at the fall NEC. After that, we can ask for a budget. So what does that mean? We're basically looking at not getting a budget, funds to do any fun projects until fall of next year. And without money, as you know, it's hard to do marketing. There's no promotional swag. There's no large celebration or banquet, right? We need to have funds. So because we can't really take much action, that's why we're moving to a bi-monthly until then. We do have a Facebook page. Thank you for everyone that's been posting on there. We have over 500 people liking it, and just last month we had over 1,600 views. So it's gaining traction. So thank you. One of the goals that I was hoping to have ready for this meeting was our centennial website. Some of you might be familiar with the American Legion when they had their 100th anniversary in 2019. That same website I was hoping to have ready for today, but we all know how the best laid plans go, right? We love technology when it works, but oh boy, when it doesn't, it's quite a headache. But it's not a pipe dream. It is currently being worked on at the national level. So I hope to have that done very, very soon. We're currently working on everything that we possibly can. A time capsule. We already have a good start for it. It's not just a dream. We already physically have it started. And one of our goals is once we can, we're hoping for all the detachments to be able to symbolically and financially support it, right? Put an item in there. It's time capsule. But also potentially have it be a sponsorship opportunity to get your name, wood burned into it or something. So, a nice history piece for it. I won't go into, this whole list, right? You have it all. I encourage all of you, if you have questions or are interested in participating, please join us. Our next meeting would be June 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much, and that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your perseverance. If there's no objections at this time, the 100th anniversary ad hoc committee report will be moved to file. And also at this time, I'd like to call up the emergency preparedness ad hoc committee chairman, Mr. Stephen Navarrete. Nope, here we go.
Good afternoon. As he stated, my name is Steven Navarrete, Detachment of New Mexico. I am the chair of the Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Preparedness. As of fall NEC, we had created a mission statement for the committee, and also after the fall NEC, we were tasked with creating a guide for our organization to distribute and create emergency preparedness programs or committees throughout the organization. Well, I'm glad to say that resource guide has been created and ready for distribution. It currently sits with SALCO for organizational and documentation review. As soon as SALCO gives the green light, we'll be distributing that resource guide to all detachments and squadrons that would like it. A quick overview of what is in our resource guide is a list of resources from the federal, state, and local level. It has types of disasters. It has training and education recommendations. And then it also has program committee action steps, which will include checklists and disaster kits, ideas for the programs. The committee came up with 3 tasks moving forward. One task is, it was suggested to the committee that we find a representative from one of the one of the 5 regions in the organization, sorry about that, and to be a point of contact for the Emergency Preparedness Committee. So this individual will help promote, be a resource, point of contact, and an advocate in creating these programs or committees at the squadron or detachment level within their region. The other task was to look into creating a guideline and potentially creating a donation/financial fund for the emergency preparedness program. I know some detachments may already have a fund that they can accept monetary donations, but we feel that we could also, if the detachment don't have a fund, this guide will help them create that so that they could keep their resources and money in the community at the detachment and state level. Last task was to do a little bit more clarification on some of the training and education requirements for the program, as working with and alongside a lot of the emergency management agencies and systems throughout our nation. So that's what the committee is working on. Lastly, I would like to thank all of the committee members, Kevin O'Connell, Brandon Curry, Mike Monserud, Joe Roberts from Florida, and Tim Brower. They've been great, and we've created a lot and moving forward on this ad hoc committee. Hopefully it continues and becomes a standing committee. With that, that is my report, Commander.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your report. Great work by your committee. At this time, I'd like to call up Mr. Mark McHugh of the Subcommittee on Resolutions.
The last guy on the list, all of you've been waiting for. I'll be quick. I just want to thank our committee, Vice Chairman Brandon Curry, Tom Dale, Chris Sherman, and Ron Roberts were in attendance. We had just some quick filing of 5 candidate resolutions, and then we went over the 3 resolutions that were presented today. We found a defect in one, and we went back to the originator, had it repaired, we reconvened, we adopted it, and that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no objections, the report from the Subcommittee on Resolutions will be moved to file. At this time, would either of the candidates like to make any announcement? Any there you go.
Hold on. All right, here we go. There we go. I got 45 minutes. When you guys are leaving here, you have to pass the Indiana War Memorial from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Hospitality for myself and leading candidate Skelly. Stop by, have an adult beverage. Dirty rumor is there might be some brisket there too for you to enjoy. So come on by, have some hospitality, enjoy the museum. We hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Yeehaw. All right. I'd like to thank all the chairmen and all the committee members for all their hard work, great reports today. I'd like to thank everybody but for their positive attitude coming to a new room. This is working out very well from my perspective, and I think all future commanders are going to enjoy being here. So thank you. That said, with the colors of our nation being in place, hand salute. 2. This meeting of the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion will now stand in recess until 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.
When everyone leaves, please go out the Pennsylvania Avenue entrance.